The ability to earn money on the XRP ledger using AMMs, automated market makers, is actually going to become a reality. And David Schwartz, who's the CTO at Ripple, he basically created XRP, went on stage at the Apex XRPL Developers Summit meeting event thing and started talking about AMMs. Here's what he had to say.
Now I get to talk about my favorite subject, which is the AMM. So as most of you probably know, an AMM has a pile of two assets and it makes markets between those two assets. But it's also implementing a trading strategy. The trading strategy profits from volatility.
So these AMMs, XLS30D, on the XRP ledger are essentially going to allow us to earn passive income with very low risk. I don't think there's complete zero risk, but very, very low risk. When you look at AMMs across the board in general, there's something called impermanent loss, meaning there is an opportunity or potential for you to lose the assets that you have held in the AMM. But we drastically reduce that with this completely new innovation that David talks about in the way these AMMs work with XLS30D. It basically allows you to delegate assets on your ledger, your cold storage wallet, or even an exchange, or the Zum wallet, for example. You can delegate those assets into an AMM, and during the natural trades from that market that is made, because markets are made by having a pair of tradable assets, so that might be US dollars in fiat, and XRP, for example, you've made a market, a liquidity market between those two tokens. So not only does this AMM provide liquidity, but in the trades, in the fluctuations, in the volatility, everyone who provides their tokens for liquidity earns an income, all the while reducing impermanent loss. This is an absolutely brand new innovation that people really aren't latching onto. One of the things that I heard that was said in that speech, and he said it very nonchalantly. Here's what he said.
So an exciting development also is Orchestra Finance, independent of Ripple, which is going to be the first interface layer for the AMM.
That's right. They have actually decided the DEX platform, the user interface for the first use of these AMMs using XLS30D. It's with a company, I don't know if you caught it before because he breezed by it. It's called Orchestra Finance. Now, Orchestra Finance will be the place where you go to first interact with XLS30D on the XRP ledger, right? This is monumental because even though many more will follow and many more DEXs and liquidity pools will open up after this, the first one is super interesting. We actually get to use it. I'm going to do my best and you can help me along. If there's any way that we can get the attention of Orchestra Finance to see if I might be able to get like a demo use of their AMMs, that would be wonderful. That would be so cool. Now, lots of information hasn't come out about Orchestra Finance, but I'm going to go over what I know so far and what we don't know, which ultimately are the biggest questions moving forward. So Orchestra Finance is basically made as an AMM deliberately and especially for XLS30D, this new wave of AMMs on the XRP ledger. Now, there are three things that you absolutely need to interact with Orchestra Finance. One of those is you need to have XRP, right? I think that's very obvious. The next one is that you actually have to create an XRPL wallet or connect a wallet. Now, there are many ways that you can connect a wallet. As it stands right now, you need a wallet called Crossmark. You can actually connect your Crossmark wallet right now. But the other ones that it says are coming soon are the Zum wallet, Ledger, the cold storage wallet, the Decent, the cold storage wallet, and Wallet Connect, which is a warm wallet in your browser. So those will be the options, but as of right now, you need a Crossmark wallet. And you can actually be a beta tester or a beta tester of Crossmark's wallet, and you can just apply to get access to that beta. But bear in mind, I've never heard of Crossmark before. They've got their roadmap out there for you to see, but essentially from the get-go, it looks like you're going to have a Crossmark wallet. But when you come over to the Orchestra Finance website, you see the first thing that you see is basically a DEX. And when you click Get Started, you come over to all of the pairs that you can actually swap. And so I don't know if this is in reality the AMMs that will exist from launch, or whether they're showing examples. But what we can see here is that you have XRP in that initial balance. You've only got actually a small amount of tokens that you can actually convert into. One of Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, USDC, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Nut, Pizza, USD, and a range of other ones that you've never heard of. Obviously, this is going to be very retail facing, so it's going to be tokens that we all know basically, and it seems like it's going to be very retail facing, this DEX initially, but in the back end, and maybe it's not with Orchestra Finance, but the idea for these AMMs ultimately is for us, me and you, to be involved in markets, automated market makers. But the ultimate goal is for me and you, for example, to be involved in these institutional level markets that are made with these trading pairs. And those trading pairs could be something like the Citibank coin with the JP Morgan coin, right? And basically benefiting in our rewards and our passive income from the volatility and the transactions that happen within that liquidity pool. So this is all going to be very retail facing, me and you, but what me and you really want to be involved in, I think, is iterations down the line when these AMMs, this centralized DeFi system, if you can even say that, becomes a thing and institutions start using what was known as DeFi, but will now be called CeFi, centralized finance. But this is going to ultimately be great because we can test the waters, right? We can have 100 XRP and just throw it into a liquidity pool. And when this all launches, this is one of the big things that we don't know yet. When this all launches, we're going to have an idea of exactly how much an AMM can earn you. Now, another thing I want to bring up is that when it comes to earnings using these AMMs, the earnings are directly correlated to the volatility of the pair. Now, if you've got USDT and USDC, there's not much volatility there, but you can provide liquidity and earn yields. But the volatility really brings up that earning capacity. So if you're looking at XRP and electricity, you'll be able to trade electricity with XRP, hypothetically. They're both very volatile markets, and so the earning capacity in those AMMs will be really interesting, and it will be a lot higher. And so while it might sound like a very boring piece of news, just understanding that we know exactly where we can test these AMMs as soon as it starts, and I think it's being voted on right now or maybe the next few days. But as soon as XLS30D comes into play, Orchestra Finance will launch the AMMs, the XLS30D, in their DEX. And whether you want to kind of swap or provide liquidity, we're at least going to be able to do it and see what the earning capacity is. We'll also be testing out that impermanent loss thing, right? We can do this for a long period of time. And I've left out the completely, the most exciting part of all of this, and I wasn't clicking around on the website, but if you go to the liquidity tab at the top of the website, you see the trading pairs, right? And these are the liquidity pool pairs. So you've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, you've got XRP, Bitcoin. XRP Bitcoin seems to be the highest fee out of all of them. So what we're looking for is higher percentage fees because that's where the earning capacity comes from, right? So if we click the Bitcoin and XRP liquidity pool, it brings us to a whole new page telling us there's 269 million liquidity pool tokens made up of $66.41 million. And the really important thing here, right, is it shows you your liquidity when you've connected your wallet. But here we go, look, we've got the trading fees below, and we've got a continuous auction tab as well. Now, the continuous auction was that really cool feature that has never existed on an AMM before. And let me explain it here. So in a continuous auction, you can participate in ongoing auctions for a chance to trade with discounted fees, unlocking profitable arbitrage opportunities on this platform. Currently, the discount for auction winner is 90%. So you can basically bid for your chance to have lower trading fees during a certain period of time. And it tells you when that auction is over or is about to start. The other thing you can click is that trading fees tab, and it tells you the current trading fee percentage. And also you are able to propose your own new trading fee, right? And depending on your weighting, your importance in the liquidity pool, your importance being higher if you have provided more liquidity, you get higher voting rights. And so you can actually propose a new fee structure for the AMM, and that will all be accumulated over a certain period of time, and the votes will all come together and go into effect for that liquidity pool, right? So we are actually seeing the ins and outs, the things that make XLS30D unique, ready to go, in a nice user interface to look at. Now, there's some things that we have to overcome. I think lots of people in this space right now understand how to use a DEX, or at least at some point in time, we've connected our wallet to a DEX, a decentralized exchange. But still, this is a long way away from, I think, the average person being involved with these AMMs, because I still think, even though this is super simple for us to look at, and many of us have engaged in this capacity in crypto, I still think there's a hurdle of connecting the wallet, and sometimes with a cold storage wallet, there's extra steps that you have to do to connect it. And I just think it's still too much for the retail to be involved. But for us, at least at the very beginning, we have this barrier to entry that's gone now because we know how to do these things. And we understand what's happening in the background as well. Even if you only basically understand what AMMs are, we know the XRP, there's automatic trust with the XRPL. I've been talking about it on this channel. I made a thread about it that David Schwartz himself engaged with. I made a video on XLS30D, so make sure you go and watch that. You can click the I in the top right-hand side of this video. Everything we've talked about previously is actually about to happen in a nice website as well. So keep your eyes open for what Orchestra Finance are doing. Today, tomorrow are going to be stressful days for me because, we're traveling abroad. We're traveling to New York. So tomorrow's video will still be important, I think still very interesting, but the New York content, the content that's going to be filmed in New York is going to be so much fun to film, is going to come out basically a day delayed. When the event happens on the 29th, the video about the 29th will come out on the 30th, so on and so forth. We've got a load of interviews lined up. It's very, very exciting. It's been a crazy week for me, having my daughter go to this preschool thing, having that lead up of organization for New York. It's just kind of crazy. And that's 20% of what's going on in my head right now. There is another 80% that I can't talk about right now, but your jaw is going to be on the ground when that happens. But if you want to see more frequent updates from me, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Rumble. The links are in the description. As always, stay emotionless, and I'll see you in the next one.